Well, welcome. My name is John Seck, and I have the pleasure of serving as president of Carroll College, and I'm really excited to be here today with Brad. Thank you so much for being with us today, Brad.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
First of all, maybe tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, and the unique program that you oversee.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in Denver, Colorado, and I was actually a Carroll student. I came to Carroll in 2008, graduated in 2012 with environmental science, and worked for a company in town here for a little while, doing hydrogeology and GIS mapping work, and then was able to come back to Carroll in 2014 as the assistant director of student activities. And one of the great parts about my job is being able to direct the outdoor program and get Carroll students outside. It's one of my favorite parts about my job. I love it.
That's great. In fact, I was in Denver in October for a few days and had a chance to meet your dad there.
Very good.
He's a great guy. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Brad, we're really excited to have you here as the director of our outdoor program at Carroll College, and as I've said before, I think you maybe have the best job at Carroll College.
I might possibly. I think Pat Harris, my supervisor, and I joke about that all the time, and it's certainly a good job. I can't complain at all. Very fortunate to be here at Carroll and get students outside, develop their leadership skills, work on teamwork, and develop their love for outdoor recreation and as well as conservation of the outdoors.
Absolutely. And Brad is sitting at the base of a mountain right now, and he looks like he's ready to do some mountaineering or backpacking or something. So we're practicing safe social distancing. So I'm at my home in Clancy, Montana. So I just want to be very clear that we are practicing safe social distancing. So
absolutely, this is one of the advantages to it, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, Brad, can you tell us a bit about the camp program at Carroll College?
Sure.
What is?
Yeah, so the camp stands for the Carroll Adventure and Mountaineering Program, and I think the program started in 2006 or 2007, so it was a year or two before I was a student at Carroll College. And now it's a pretty robust program. I have 15 students that work for me, helping lead outdoor trips and adventures around Montana. And we offer 1 to 2 trips per weekend, and then we offer a ton of kind of reoccurring trips throughout the school year that happen after classes in the evenings that, range from trail running, mountain biking, fly fishing, cross-country skiing, those types of things that we have really quick access to after classes. And then the rest of our activities, some of the same that I just mentioned, as well as kayaking, rafting, overnight backpack trips, snowshoeing, and then we do a lot of indoor clinics in the winter as well on fly tying, kind of bike maintenance, and just some other how-to things and how to fix your gear, stuff like that.
That's great. What are some of the more unique trips that you take students on?
Let's see. Some of the more unique ones, gosh, all of the trips are pretty special. We just have such great areas to go to here in Montana. Some of my favorite things, I always love to go on the overnight trips and get students away from campus for more than just a couple hours. We really start to see, I really start to see students connect with each other on a one-on-one basis in ways that I don't see with other student groups on campus, just because they don't have the technology and they're not in their phones. They start to look at each other, have these deep conversations and, about life, about their faith, etc. And then I also see them on campus afterwards with these people that they maybe just met for the first time, becoming lifelong friends. And that's really cool. And I just love that part about my job. So it's not necessarily about the location or the trip in particular, but just about getting them away from their normal everyday lives.
That's great. You know, the Helena area is a recreational paradise, and Carroll College is just situated so close to the mountains. What are some of the types of things students can do here in the greater Helena area during the different seasons?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, we're really fortunate. It truly is a recreational paradise here. And one of the biggest assets that Helena has is we have 70 plus miles of single track trails, all within walking or biking distance of campus. And there's not very many towns in the U.S., let alone, that have that option. So that's one really cool thing we have really close by. In the winter, Bill Roberts Golf Course, which is also within walking distance of campus, they groom that for cross-country skiing trails. So those are, two things that we have. Students don't even need to have a vehicle to get outside and feel like they're really away from campus. Then you talk about anywhere within a short drive of campus, and, we have the Bob Marshall Wilderness, which is one of the biggest wilderness areas in the country. We have the Blackfoot River within driving distance, which is from the famous movie River Runs Through It with Brad Pitt. Anywhere you go, there's world-class recreational opportunities, Glacier National Park to the north and Yellowstone to the southeast. So
it's great. I enjoy hiking in the Helena area, and one of my favorite things to do on the weekends, either in early summer or late or during the summer or even all the way to early fall, is you can take a shuttle that takes you up about 9 miles, and it drops you off at a National Forest trailhead, and then you can bike or hike or run all the way down to downtown Helena on the National Forest trails, ending up at Mount Helena. It's called the Ridgeline Trail, and it's such a fun experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to mention that that's a free service to anybody in the Helena community. So that's pretty neat as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You also run a really interesting shop in the Hunthausen Activity Center that allows students to check out a wide variety of equipment. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we call it the Camp Gear Room, and students are able to come down anytime for do-it-yourself trips and rent gear. So you can come down and rent a pair of snowshoes, a sleeping bag, a backpack, tent, mountain bike, etc. And one of our missions is really just to get students outside and experience it. So we try and keep that affordable for students. So a sleeping bag or a tent rental for a weekend is, $4 for each or something like that. A mountain bike for a weekend is $10. Same with a stand-up paddleboard, etc. So it's a really unique thing that we have for students, and a great way for them to get outside. And students really take advantage of it and use the equipment, which is neat.
In fact, I had a conversation with a student from the Boulder, Colorado area, and he said his parents actually commented that the Helena area kind of feels like Boulder, Colorado did about 30 or 35 years ago, as far as the access to the great outdoors and, not worrying about crowds or bumping into people. And, I think that's one of the reasons why we do attract a lot of folks from Colorado or the Pacific Northwest, is that they just covet the fact that we have so many mountains and outdoor opportunities, and that we don't have the crowd.
Absolutely. Coming from Denver myself, I fell in love with Helena just because of that. So it was really neat to come up here and not only have the trails right next to town, but also get out on them and them not be crowded with people. And then you take that one step further and, get on the trails away from town, and there's really nobody. You feel out there, and that's a pretty neat experience.
Yeah, it's incredible. And not far from Helena, you have the Elkhorn Mountains, which really are at above where I live here in Clancy, and they're incredible. You you can spend days in the Elkhorns and just see things that you would think you might have to drive normally hundreds of miles to get to, and they're just right here on the edge of Helena.
Absolutely.
So, the last couple of months, the world, the nation, and here in Helena, we've been dealing with the COVID-19 crisis, and so it's over the past month or so, we've witnessed the fact that about 75% of our students have chosen to return home and finish out the semester remotely. We still have about 25% of our students here, and what are some of the types of things that our students can do over the course of the remainder of the semester outside that fall within the governor's stay-at-home order? I was very, very pleased to see that the governor did say, he encouraged people safely to go and take advantage of the great outdoors and recreational opportunities here in Montana, again, in a very safe way. So what are some things that our students can still do here in the Helena-Carroll area?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about the opportunities within walking distance, the South Hills Trail System. We also have Spring Meadow Lake State Park, which is a beautiful state park within walking distance of campus, as well as the many town parks in Helena. Right now I'm sitting in my backyard. It's a beautiful day, and just getting outside the house, after we've had snow for the past day or so and getting some fresh air is just really exhilarating and a nice experience. So I encourage students, just get outside your dorm room, take a walk, even if it, seems like you're just walking down the block of your street. I think that people really enjoy it. And then as far as, if you have a vehicle, you're able to get places. The other morning I woke up early and went and hiked up Great Divide. The lifts aren't running, but you can still hike with your skis or your snowboard and ski down, which is a really fun thing to do. The snow geese right now are migrating up on Freeze-Out Lake up to the north, and that's a pretty spectacular sight to see. There's a lot of really neat experiences in Montana, and I encourage students as well. I send them an email every week with things to do. I encourage them to reach out to me. Is there things in my email that aren't, striking a chord for you? Let me know what you're interested in, and I can point you in the right direction. The rivers are going to start to be fishing really, really well here in a couple of weeks when things warm up, and there's a couple of great spots to fish really close to campus. So
that's great. How was the snow up at Great Divide?
Oh, it was spectacular yesterday morning. It was a really, really good day. So
that's fabulous. That's fabulous. Brad Maddock, thank you for being with us today. Really appreciated the opportunity to have this conversation.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. I always love talking about the outdoors and things to do around Helena.
And thank you for just the incredible job that you do at Carroll College and the service you provide our students, and just your presence on our campus is very, very special and important to us. So thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. And thank you for joining us today. Again, my name is John Seck. I'm president of Carroll College, and just say thank you and be safe.